Hello everyone, and welcome back. Today, we continue following the increasingly tense developments in the long and winding story surrounding James, a story where loyalty is tested. Blood ties are questioned, and truth waits patiently for the courage to be spoken aloud. In the previous episode, James made a move no one saw coming. With calm resolve and quiet determination, he turned the tables. Persuading Fat to abandon the shadows of the past and stand beside him, against Mr. Hone, the man who is not only a powerful figure but also James's biological father. It was a decision that shifted the balance overnight, and with that shift, secrets long buried beneath silence and fear began to crack. What would this fragile alliance between James and Fat lead to? Would Diep be drawn even deeper into a vortex of power? Family conflict and moral reckoning? And perhaps the most unsettling question of all, how would Mr. Hone react when his own son chose truth over blood? All of it unfolds today. From early morning until late afternoon, Diep barely allowed herself a moment to breathe. She moved across the farm with a notebook tucked against her side, her steps brisk, her voice steady as she issued instructions one after another. One group was assigned to harvest grapefruits from the eastern orchard. Another team sorted the fruit carefully by size and quality. Ensuring nothing damaged would make its way into transport. Near the gate, the truck crew prepared for their final run to the warehouse before nightfall. Baskets clattered against one another. The farm hummed with life. Workers called out measurements and counts. Sunlight filtered through the leaves, wrapping the orchard in a soft, golden warmth typical of late afternoon. As Diep walked each row, she inspected every tree with practiced eyes, occasionally crouching to remove bruised fruit before it could contaminate the shipment. Her hands never stopped moving. Neither did her phone. Each ring brought another responsibility, assigning labor. Confirming quantities, adjusting schedules, coordinating with the warehouse to ensure the trucks would be received on time. In the midst of the rural calm, Diep looked like a woman holding an entire world together on her own. No one noticed how heavy that world had become. They saw only that she kept going, shoulders squared. Expression composed, even as pressure threatened to swallow her whole. By late afternoon, the workers began packing up. Gradually, the noise faded, and the farm returned to its familiar quiet. The sun dipped lower. The air softened, and then, through that calm, a lone figure appeared at the gate. Waited. His steps were slow. Diep recognized him instantly. Fat. Even from a distance, she could tell something was wrong. His dark shirt had faded with time, its shoulders creased and worn. He clutched his old helmet tightly, as though it were the only thing anchoring him to the ground. Up close, the signs were even clearer. His face had grown thinner. His eyes were sunken, cheeks hollowed by sleepless nights. He tried to smile when he saw her, but the anxiety in his gaze betrayed him. Diep set her notebook aside and hurried toward him. "Fat, you don't look well," she said gently. "Did something happen?" The simple kindness in her voice made him blink several times. Struggling to steady himself, inside the house, James had just changed his shirt and was about to step outside when he heard an unfamiliar voice. The moment he saw Fat, he stopped. For a brief second, his gaze sharpened, an instinctive reaction to someone once tied to the chaos of his family. But that edge softened almost immediately. There was no longer suspicion between them. And a fragile, hard-earned trust. Only respect. Fat took a deep breath before speaking. "I came because there's something I need to tell both of you." His voice was quiet. But its weight was enough to sweep away the calm around them. Diep's hands tightened unconsciously in front of her. James stood beside her in silence, his expression shifting, bracing for whatever truth was about to surface. Fat spoke slowly, each word deliberate. "Recently, I managed to gather some evidence of Mr. But it isn't enough yet. Hone's wrongdoing. There are still missing pieces. If we bring it forward now, it won't be enough to conclude anything." The air seemed to freeze. Even the faint accusation, aimed at James's own father, was enough to steal the stillness from the moment. James did not react with anger. He did not deny it, only his eyes changed, reflecting a quiet acceptance of a truth he had sensed for a long time. Diep glanced at him, worry tightening her chest, but James simply nodded, signaling Fat to continue. Behind them, the setting sun stretched their shadows across the courtyard, merging into one, as if all three were already standing on the same battlefield. "What about your mother?" he asked, his voice calm but edged with concern. After a moment, "How is her health?" Fat's composure crumbled instantly. James spoke. He turned his face away, wiping at his eyes without success, and drew in a shaky breath. "The doctor said she needs emergency surgery," he whispered. "The cost is 600 million. Diep pressed a hand to her chest. James straightened, tension radiating through him. "I borrowed from relatives, from friends," Fat continued, his voice breaking, "but it's still not enough. I pawned everything I could. I have no other way." His shoulders trembled, like a child fighting back tears. In that moment, Deep realized that no matter how strong she believed herself to be, she would not stand unbroken if she were in his place. James said nothing. He turned and walked into the house with quiet decisiveness. Minutes later, he returned holding a thick envelope. Without hesitation, he placed it into Fat's trembling hands. "There's 500 million in here," James said steadily. "Take it. Save your mother first." Fat stared at the envelope as if it were unreal. No. He immediately stepped back. "I can't accept this. It's too much. Consider it a loan," James cut in, firm but never cold. "When you can repay it, repay it. If it takes years, then years. I won't rush you." He met Fat's eyes. "The most important thing is your mother. You can't let her wait." The last of Fat's resistance collapsed. He bowed deeply, hands shaking around the envelope. "James, I owe you more than money," he whispered. "I owe you a debt of gratitude." James rested a hand on his shoulder. "I'm helping you because you deserve it." "A devoted son. You're a good man. You didn't abandon your mother, and that's enough." Then his tone grew serious. "But I need your help with something in return." Fat lifted his head. "I need you to continue monitoring Mr. Eyes, still wet but steady, only collect evidence." "Hone," James said. "Don't break the law. Only document misconduct. Don't harm anyone." Deep nodded beside him. She wanted only the truth. She didn't seek revenge. Fat looked at them both, then nodded firmly. "We're not trying to hurt anyone," he said. "I understand. We're seeking justice." A gentle breeze swept across the courtyard. Lifting dry leaves into the air. In that moment, 3 wounded souls stood united, not by hatred. Not by vengeance, but by the belief that only truth could set them free. The day slowly faded, but Deep's work did not. She reinforced loose fence panels with her own body weight, gathered scattered stones to form a safe path. And wiped sweat from her brow without complaint. Fatigue weighed down her limbs. Dirt stained her clothes. Yet her eyes remained unwavering. No one saw how tired she truly was. They saw only a woman who refused to stop. After changing her shirt, she rushed to pick up little Nhi. When she returned home, James was waiting at the door. Holding a box of roasted duck, the one he had promised. "James. You really bought it?" Nhi squealed. The aroma filled the house. He crouched to her level. "Did you behave well at school? Get your good child sticker?" Her laughter filled the room. Diep watched, a smile slowly blooming on her lips. Warm and bright, in that moment, all her exhaustion melted away. Later, James noticed every detail, the secured fence, the neat path, the tools left untouched from lack of time. He watched Diep rinse her hands, those hands that had carried them both for so long. Without me, you'd still live well, he said softly. Firmly. He paused. Slowly. But if I'm here, your life will be even better. It wasn't a grand promise, and in the quiet that followed, a new chapter began. It was a choice. That night and the morning after, misunderstandings softened, fears dissolved, and hope, once forbidden, quietly took root. Yet even in peace, the road ahead remained uncertain. Secrets still waited to surface. Truth still demanded courage, and hearts, not yet fully healed, were only beginning to find their way back to one another. The story continues.